what they're supposed to be doing. They're really well built for swimming. Everything that kind of slows them down on land, everything that makes them so much slower than a person on land, keeps them up in the water. The body shape that we're looking at is basically a torpedo. The reason it has small legs, because small legs create less drag. You don't have to have as much power behind you if you're not creating a whole lot of drag. And they do have a lot of power behind them still, because this big tail, while it slows them down a lot on land, it's pretty much solid muscle. And they're able to swing this left and right, and with just one or two flicks, they'll be able to cruise forward without any real problem at all. It's one of the chips in there, that's who it is. So when these animals are cruising around, though, I'm going to move you again, I'm sorry.
What is it?
She's going to hate me. No, that's how it goes. When these animals are cruising around in the water, you'll notice that there's a couple things on their heads that are really well built for swimming as well. Hunter, you want to come over? Come on. You want to tell us? Are you going to be good today? I'll give one the chip. I'll give one the chip. Chip. You want to stand up? Good boy. And if you kind of heard a low pop, that's again their jaws closing. They can close them a stronger bite force than anyone else on the planet. About 1,000 to 3,000 pounds or something this size. Not out of the question. You want one more? Well, when you got a head up like this, it's a pretty good time to see it. Has everyone seen the eyes on these animals while they're cruising around in the water? They've actually got an eyelid they can flip over them. And they'll do that sometimes when they're grabbing a piece of food. I'm trying to get Hunter or Chip here to do it for us. But when that eyelid flips over it, it's pretty much clear. It does block their vision a bit, but they're able to swim around with basically a built-in skin goggle. The eyes themselves are on top of the head. The nostrils on one of these animals. So for example, on Skipper here, he's being nice and good. The nostrils themselves are slightly raised. You can see that as he puts his head up there. Right behind his eyes as well, they have these weird triangle shaped structures. Triangle shaped structures, like this. And those are actually his ears. So you've got your nose, your ears, and your eyes right up on top of your head if you want to do that. What that lets you do is it lets you cruise around out here in the water with everything above water. You can see, you can hear, and you can smell while keeping the rest of yourself hidden. This is really how these animals hunt. This is the way they do it. It's in the water, it's at the water's edge, and they're going to be cruising around at night, too, as well, looking for food. Now, there's two real reasons why these animals are nocturnal. The big one, of course, is because, well, the sun's only out during the day. And if that's the only way that you really warm yourself up, you're going to want to take advantage of it while it's out there. The other reason is you're able to sneak up a lot better on things when it's dark. So as soon as they start to lose the light around them, alligators are going to move into the water. They're going to be doing exactly what Hunter's doing now. He'll probably even hold down more than that in the water if he's waiting for food. And what he's going to do is he's going to hide everything about him except for maybe the eyes, the ears, and maybe the tip of his nose. What he's going to do at that point is he's going to wait for something small to come on up, and he'll grab it. I'll talk a little bit more about feeding these animals at the 12 o'clock feeding demonstration. But one more thing before I hop out of here, and I'll kind of end the talk with this. What I'm doing right now, not getting in here and touching these animals on the middle, because most people wouldn't want to do that anyway. Oh, it's stomped up your tooth, I'm sorry. Oh, I know, I saw it. Good boy. But feeding them. Feeding them, and I toss the pellets to Skipper stick. Or if I toss some food into the water for these animals here. It may not look crazy exciting right now, but this is actually the most dangerous thing that you can do with them. And it's because we're not dealing with a mindless killing machine or a mindless eating machine. These animals are probably the smartest of all reptiles. They're easily about as smart as a herding dog, such as a shepherd or a collie. They learn roughly 2 or 3 times being fed by people. This is a wild animal we're talking about. A wild animal would learn in about 2 or 3 times that people are a good source of food. Notice I said source of food. They don't really make the distinction between us having food or being food. So as nice as he's being right now, I was very, very careful when I went in there and picked up that pellet off the ground after I bounced it off his tooth. If I got my hand a little too close, If Skipper got a hold of it, there's a very good likelihood that he would be taking it off at the wrist if he swallowed my hand too. And it's not because he's a bad animal, it's just because they don't really make the distinction between the food that we have and the food that we're made of. So we are still made of what they would consider edible. You never forget that when you're dealing with wild animals such as this. That is why it's illegal to feed alligators in the wild, and it's also one of the best ways to get the animals themselves destroyed. It turns out that when you feed these animals, they become what we call nuisance animals. Those animals are the ones that get into people's backyards. They start to go for people's dogs because they're no longer afraid of the people. And those are the animals that are unfortunately usually put down by Fish and Wildlife or the trappers that they hire. So please definitely do not feed alligators in the wild. It's a very good way to get them killed. If you would like to feed some animals here, though, at the park, you can do it here because we again have a captive population of animals. Our animals like Skipper, for example, are going to live with us for the rest of their life. Or they're going to go to maybe another facility like San Diego Zoo, for example, if they need a big alligator out there. But they're going to stay in captivity because, unfortunately, at this point, they're no longer afraid of people at all. These animals are eating like a big piece of meat right now, basically. And so they would be very, very dangerous if we were to release them. So they're going to stay with us. So because of that, if you'd like to, we have right over on this building with the red porch here, it's a small feeding machine as well as out in the bird swamp. So if you'd like to toss food in here, that'd be fine. We ask that you do it mostly in the egg yard or in the bird swamp itself, but these animals, again, they're captive, just be kind of helping us out with our feeding routine, basically, by tossing food here. And it's safe and it's legal to do it here, so please get your urge out here rather than getting into a dangerous situation and potentially causing one of these animals to be put down in the wild. Thank you very much for coming by, folks. I'm going to hop out of here. My name is Seth. Again, if you